So why don't we jump into it? Connor, if you don't mind changing the slide, I still don't have the arrow keys for some reason. Getting used to this technology thing. Sweet. Okay, so before we start talking about Western AI, like, why are we even here, right? Like, why do we care about AI? Why should you care about AI? There are several good reasons for this. The first of which is that AI is kind of everywhere now. Like, in case you haven't been reading the news or seeing on social media, like, every day AI is improving and becoming more integrated into a wide variety of industries. So what does this mean for you? It means that very likely, no matter what job you get coming out of school, you will either be directly or indirectly working with AI. Like, even if you're not, behind a computer screen developing AI applications, there are more and more ways that people are interacting with it. So it's really critical that you have at least a fundamental understanding of it. So, luckily, Western AI is here to help you on this journey of learning AI. Even though there are lots of resources online and whatnot to learn about it, it can be pretty intimidating if you don't know where to start. And, it's really just hard to get the support you need throughout. So, we are here to support you in this and help you kind of maximize your potential um, throughout your involvement with us. So, and the best part is you don't even need to know how to code. So it's great if you do, but if you don't, that's okay too. We have so many ways to get involved, no matter what level of technical experience you have. So everyone is welcome. That's the bottom line here. So let's jump to the next slide there, Connor. So to start talking a bit about Western AI, this is only our second full year of operation since we started, but that has not made us shy away from big ambitions. We believe, as we said, that since AI is becoming so prevalent in the workplace, that all undergrads, you know, certainly at Western, certainly in Ontario, and definitely across the country, should have at least a fundamental understanding of AI, and ideally know enough to meaningfully contribute to an AI-driven society. So that's kind of like high level, like the fluff that we're all about. But we really do believe in this, and this is kind of like our guiding motive. So I really encourage everyone to align yourself with this and recognize the value here, and we really want to help you become educated in AI. So I'm going to pass it off to Liam Herbst. He is our other co-president. So he's going to talk to you a bit about, what you guys might be like and how we can help you as a unique individual. So I'm going to pass it off to Liam.
Thank you very much, Spencer. Thank you for the introduction, and thank you to everybody that joined here tonight. It's awesome to see so many people came out and are interested in learning about AI. A little bit about me. I'm entering my second year in Ivy. It's my first year as co-president of the club, and I'm a little bit more on the operations and logistics side, where Spencer's sort of the math wizard behind all of this, as well as a lot of other people in the club. So just so everybody watching knows, I came into the club without, an incredibly deep understanding of the technical components of AI and machine learning. And the club has been amazing for helping me build my own skill set, as well as I hope I've been able to help with some of the organizational logistics things of the club. But getting into the next slide, which Connor, I think, oh, never mind, I have access to it. The buttons weren't coming up for me. I skipped forward one. So this is really important. These are the member personas for Western AI. And if you're wondering what member personas essentially means, these are the type of people who we think are a really strong fit for our club. And there's three different personas that we've highlighted. The first is the apprentice, the second is the explorer, and the third is the wizard. So as I mentioned, I started my at least artificial intelligence journey when I entered Western, definitely in the apprentice zone. It's always something I was interested in, and I didn't have any technical competency coming to school. And I've through my time at Western, I've kind of evolved into that explorer, where I'm continually trying to find new things. One of them, which is AI, to expand my skill set and familiarity with. And right now, I'm working on laying the first couple steps to becoming a wizard. And just to recap, the apprentice, open to learn, motivated to try out, to basically get integrated into Western's AI community and learn about acquire some technical knowledge and up their skills, or just learn more about AI and the impacts of AI across business, ethics, etc. The Explorer is interested in a lot of different topics, one of which is AI, and is most excited about how AI can integrate into other applications, as Spencer mentioned on slide 3, with AI becoming increasingly relevant in every industry. And the wizard, you'll know who you are if you're watching this video, stream, it's people that have a high degree of technical knowledge and are really the people that are going to help drive forward some of the advanced projects that we're working on in Western AI. So our mission, in summary, is to build a nationwide community of students who are passionate and curious about artificial intelligence. We're expanding our projects and peer-to-peer learning, which I'm going to touch on very, very briefly. And we're connecting with clubs across Canada, as well as people, some of the leading experts in machine learning and AI across Canada. And it's something we're really excited to help pass that level of knowledge to our club members. We have 3 main goals as a club, and the first is to learn. We want to do our best to provide an equal opportunity for all 3 personas, people of all backgrounds, all skill sets, have the opportunity to learn. And Charlie and John are going to talk a little bit about our peer-to-peer learning network, which is for people of all skill levels to get integrated with a group that's, I guarantee you, more fun to work with than an asynchronous lecture at Western, to learn about AI and make some new friends. Our second goal is to build. We pride ourselves on actually applying the knowledge that we're learning and building things. And Will is going to talk about, and also we're going to have some project demos to show some of the things that we did this summer, and basically almost like a beta test for the year, where we had 70 people come in to get merged in teams and build a project together. And it's something that our club really values. We want to be known as the club that builds things, not the club that just talks about things and holds events, even though we are holding this event. But we pride ourselves on building. The last goal is exploring. And as I mentioned earlier, we want to help students meet each other. We want to help students meet students at other universities, as well as experts in industries, companies that are hiring for jobs at a school of machine learning and AI. And we're putting together a few different projects to help facilitate that. Now I'd like to pass it on to Charlie to talk about the peer-to-peer learning.
Hey everybody, so before we get into peer-to-peer, we're just going to do some polls. I want to get kind of a temperature of the room, see what programs people are in, and then also we have a poll on which member persona that everyone thinks they are, and I can go over them again once we launch that poll. "51 out of 69. 80% of people, probably cap it at 40 seconds, I guess. Okay, cool. We can end it here. I'm going to, oh, there they are. Cool. So it looks like we have mostly science, a bunch of engineers, a few people from Ivy, and some other programs as well, like social science and FIMS. No music people though, that kind of sucks. Cool, and now I'm going to launch another poll, and I want to ask which persona that most people think they're like. So just a reminder, the apprentice is somebody who is new to AI, probably non-technical. The explorer is maybe a technical person who's interested in learning about coding and AI technical skills. And then the wizard is probably someone who's coded a neural network before or has experience with machine learning or AI.
Liam, you're changing the slides.
And we can cap this in like 10 seconds. Cool. So it looks like most of us are explorers. That's good. Most of us are curious about learning about AI, and we're in the right place. So I can even attest to that. I definitely came into this club as an explorer. I didn't know anything about AI. I just saw it in the news all the time, and I wanted to learn about it. And then we have some apprentices as well. That's super cool, especially with peer-to-peer. We have some really intro level courses on even completely non-technical concepts like ethics of AI. So there's a place for you. And then for the wizards, we have some really smart people on all of the portfolios. So you are in the right place as well. And now, sorry for the polls. These guys were supposed to do them before, but they forgot. So I'm going to launch my poll now for the peer-to-peer. Basically, I want to get a feel for how many people have taken online coding courses, or even just like anything around AI or ML. And yeah. So it looks like a ton of people have taken online coding courses, and that's great. So just a little prelude before we're done this poll. I guess we could probably just end it now. And then share these. Cool. So 35 people or 60% have taken a coding course and they enjoyed it, which is great. That's good to hear that a lot of people are coming in with technical experience, because this is a technical club at the end of the day. AI is a pretty technical subject, and having those coding skills is really helpful for us too. So what is peer-to-peer learning? We call it P2P, like in the brackets below. But basically, we came up with this concept of taking online courses, but in a group of people. So especially with like COVID, and then even just online courses in general, we find that online courses are great in terms of content, and they have the best instructors in the world. They have the best content in the world. And it's really, in my opinion, it's better than going to like a class at Western on AI or comp sci. I think if you're taking a course from Google or like Andrew Ng or Lex Friedman or something like that, you can get a lot out of that, and probably more than a Western class. The only issue with taking online courses, in our opinion, is that they're lacking a few things, mainly accountability. And a lot of people will take online courses and not finish them, or they'll kind of get halfway through it and then tail off. And that sucks because there's a lot to learn. And basically, peer-to-peer learning is here to hold people accountable to online courses. And I will switch the slide if I can. Oh, shoot. That should work. So what is peer-to-peer? Basically, we're offering multiple courses, mainly 2 right now that we piloted in the summer. Oops, this poll came up, sorry. We're offering multiple courses focused on artificial intelligence. And obviously the main goal of these courses is to like learn about AI concepts and machine learning concepts. At the end of the day, we want people to be knowledgeable about these topics, and then hopefully be able to apply them to our project's portfolio, maybe be on a project's team, or even apply non-technical concepts to our project's portfolio, or just learn about it and then apply it in your life. Like I said before, we're offering courses, technical and non-technical. So our pilot course, for example, which John's going to talk about later, it was actually a pretty non-technical course. There was a lot of talk about technical concepts kind of breezing over them, but you really could have gone into the course from any single program with like no math knowledge, no coding knowledge or anything, and you would have been fine. And yeah, basically the goals of these courses, like I said, we want to equip you with the skills necessary to break into the AI industry, whether that's as a machine learning engineer, an AI engineer, software engineer, data scientist, so on and so forth. So why did we start peer-to-peer? And I kind of mentioned this before on that first slide, but basically we find that there's a lot of things lacking in these massive online courses. And the main one is accountability. I know personally, I've enrolled in probably like 10 or 11 online courses and just not finished them. I think I've finished one online course, and that was the deep learning specialization on Coursera. But we think that's a pretty big issue, and we think it would be cool if you can be held accountable to those online deadlines for the courses and actually make sure you get those done in a collaborative environment. The second really cool thing about peer-to-peer, and this is especially relevant with COVID, is that this is a really cool opportunity to meet with other people from Western who are like-minded and really just network, whether that's with execs, other people at Western, other engineering people, other music people, whatever program you're in. And that's something that you don't really get in a online course. Maybe you could like search through the polls of an online course and find someone who also took it and cold message them on LinkedIn. It just doesn't seem too realistic to me. And now the other thing that we're seeing with COVID is that I know from personal experience, all of my roommates, all of their courses are asynchronous. They literally just watch videos all day. They have maybe a couple Zoom lectures, but if you're a new student, for anyone here who's a new student to Western, or even if you're just a returning student, you wanted to meet new people, that's also going to be pretty hard. I just don't see it being realistic to go into a 300-person Zoom lecture, find someone's name on the Zoom lecture, and then just like reach out to them and give them a call. And that's what the cool thing about peer-to-peer learning is that we have some pretty small, intimate groups that get to meet each other and really bond. And finally, we're offering an application aspect from peer-to-peer, something that maybe a online course doesn't necessarily offer. And I know some of them do. There's often like coding assignments and projects you can go and work on after, but we're directly offering a application stream through the projects portfolio where you can take a peer-to-peer course and then synchronously be involved in a project through Western AI, which is obviously really helpful because at the end of the day, you can learn all this stuff, but if you never apply it and make a project, then how useful really is it, right? Next slide. So what are you going to gain from these courses? We broke it down into 4 buckets. First, you're going to learn about technical concepts. Second, you're going to get guidance from Western AI execs. We can hopefully give good career advice, resume advice, anything like that, and then also just like technical knowledge advice. Third, you're going to get recognition. So we have actually realized that through UWO, you can get free Coursera courses and LinkedIn courses, and we wanted to take advantage of this. And so with peer-to-peer, most of our courses are going to be based on LinkedIn Learning courses, maybe a few Coursera in the future. And so by taking the course, you'll actually get a LinkedIn Learning certificate and then also be recognized by the execs and maybe be able to put that on your resume or talk about it in a job interview or something. And finally, enjoyment. Like I said, we want to make up for everyone having all these asynchronous classes through UWO, and we want people to be able to meet each other with these tough COVID restrictions. One more. Next slide. Oh, it looks like we have a question. One sec. Does Western AI form any teams for competitions in Kaggle or similar? Yeah, I'll let Will handle that later. But the answer is yes. So now I'm going to talk about the courses that we're offering and the ones that we're planning to offer. And keep in mind, these were all just kind of like crowdsourced, like whatever people at Western AI during the summer wanted to learn about. And so the first general course we did was Mastering AI and ML. And it was really successful. We ran it for 3 weeks and we had about 25 students. And basically this course is through LinkedIn Learning, and it's learning about key AI and ML concepts basically in a case-based method. So I'm sure a lot of you have heard of like the Ivy case-based method. We do something similar. It's not like as formal as Ivy, but basically every single week we'll have like an hour meeting where everyone is going to take a case-based approach to an AI problem, typically an AI ethics problem, as we saw in the pilot course. I'll go to the next slide. The second course we're going to offer is an intro to Python. And I say Python for data science, but you can come into this course with no Python knowledge. Basically, we want to gear people up with the Python skills necessary to break into like a data science or machine learning role, or even at least like be ready for a technical project through Western AI. And then here's some of the ideas we have for future courses. And honestly, anyone in this call, you're welcome to drop some ideas in the comments or the chat. We're open to anything. But basically right now we thought of doing some more like specific machine learning courses or deep learning courses, sorry, on different types of neural networks. So deep Q networks like reinforcement learning, convolutional neural networks, so that's like computer vision, and then recurrent neural networks, so like NLP and time series models. Second, this is one that I'm pretty passionate about and I think would be cool, is we want to do a course on deploying machine learning models through Flask and other web frameworks. So cool, you built your model in like some Jupyter notebook or some Google Colab notebook, or maybe it's local. But now the next step is, okay, I want to publish this so people can actually use it, or I want to publish it so people can see it. And we've gotten pretty good at teaching that throughout the summer, how people can actually take their models and like turn it into a website basically. And then yeah, third, whatever you suggest. So feel free to drop some stuff in the comments. So now I'm going to pass it on to John. John is one of the directors of education, and he's going to talk about our pilot in the summer and how well it went.
Yeah, thanks, Charlie. So in the summer of 2020, the last couple of weeks, we wanted to do our first peer-to-peer pilot. This was a pilot in August with a number of Western AI members, like Charlie said, around 25. And for this particular cohort, the focus was really on building a solid foundation of AI fundamentals without getting into the code. So we looked at basic definitions, things like the applications, future implications, as well as general opportunities surrounding AI and how it's going to be used. So just to give you guys a quick rundown of what a peer-to-peer session would have looked like back in August, we would essentially leave out, or rather send, the LinkedIn Learning courses for the week on Monday. It would typically be around 2 to 3 courses. As you can see in this slide here, this was a demo slide from our third lesson. So we would send out the 3 LinkedIn Learning courses at the beginning of the week, give our members the week to work through the courses at their own pace. And by the end of the week on Saturday is when we would come back together for our group discussion. Now, as Charlie said, the focus of this discussion was really on building that sort of understanding through applications and, more importantly, a case-based approach. So to give you guys some examples, in our second meeting, we focused on looking at something like the impact of automation within the scope of not just the technical aspect of automation, but also the societal impact, the economic influences, political policies that might be beneficial in order to ease the transition towards a more automated society, and general things like that. And for lesson 3, which is the one you guys are seeing on the screen right now, the case study was on a technology called deepfakes. So deepfakes, just to give you guys a quick definition, are essentially a synthetic media where a person or existing image is replaced with someone or something else. So for instance, it could be a prominent figure saying something that they've never actually said, but being made to look that way based on artificial intelligence and machine learning technology. So we discussed the implications of that, from the analysis of the individual to a corporation to even governments, and really looked at these concepts without getting into the code, like I mentioned, but just trying to understand how we could use these sort of applications. So when we do get into the code, we can really understand what is this truly going to be used for, and how can we actually make something useful with it. So that's pretty much the gist of the example from August. Like Charlie said, we're hoping to run a lot more throughout the year and continue building on those. But for now, I'm going to pass it on to Sophia to speak a bit more about our project's portfolio.
Sorry. Mm, so, hi, I'm Sophia, and I am the co-VP of projects at Western AI, and I am a second year computer science. So, I'm gonna introduce what opportunities our project's portfolio has provided to you this year. So, um, is it working?
You can try just like the next arrow or something. Usually it works. Or it's working for me. Oh god.
Um, hold on. Uh, wait, yeah, there we go. So similar to our summer project that was like really successful during the summer, we have a project-based program that runs semesterly, which is called Gideon. So in by participating in Gideon, you'll be in a team of roughly of 5 people, and you'll be completing a AI-related project. And we have a wide range of project topics of your choice, such as like cat versus dog classifiers and emotion detection, medical imaging, and self-driving cars. So, uh, so the one good thing about joining Gideon uh, instead of like doing a side project on your own is that no prior programming experience is required. So we know how hard it is to start from zero, and we have all the resources prepared for you, which and we'll be dividing your project into categories so that you can start really smoothly. So William Chen, our co-VP of projects, will be giving details about this.
Hey everyone, sorry about that. So now I'm just going to talk about the structure, and actually before I talk about that, I'm going to give a brief intro. So I'm heading into my second year of computer science at Western, and over the summer I did some research on self-driving cars, which has really helped me out in developing the structure for this program. So what Gideon is that we're basically like a zero to hero course. So if you have zero experience in programming, don't worry, we got you covered. So we'll basically deliver like the 1026 of Western to you. And in our program, we've basically deconstructed it into 3 different sections. So we have the beginner section, which is mainly for our apprentices. So for beginners, we're looking at people who don't have prior experience with programming or don't have prior experience with machine learning. And we'll provide all the resources for you to learn all of that. And within the beginner section, you'll be able to create really cool projects like, predicting stock prices. Like that's a really popular one that we get all the time, and also house prices. Moving on, we have the intermediate section, and this is where you get to really dive deeper into neural networks, specifically convolutional neural networks, if you guys are familiar with that term. And you'll also get to learn how to use specific machine learning libraries like TensorFlow, that's a big word, or like Keras. And projects you get to create in this section are like an ASL translator, that's short for American Sign Language, or you can do things like medical diagnosis for certain diseases. Last but not least, we also have the advanced section, and this is for people who have prior experience with machine learning, and it's also for people who want to specialize into a certain area of machine learning, such as reinforcement learning, natural language processing, or computer vision. And actually, one of the projects that we offered over the summer was to create a self-driving car in a virtual simulator, and that's just one of the amazing projects that we have to offer this year. And I'm just going to toss it back to Sophia as she's going to discuss as to why you should join our Gideon stream.
Okay, so let me convince you like why you should join, be a part of our Gideon projects. So many of you are, I know that many of you are interested in artificial intelligence, but don't know where to start. So being a part of Gideon will get you prepared to start off a really cool machine learning related projects and start really smoothly. And also, I know some of you are looking for cool side projects to do, and this is your chance to make your resume look better. And also, if you want to get a job in the tech industry, or you want to get more technical skills to launch your career, Gideon is your choice. And just in general, if you want to meet some new cool friends, Gideon is your choice. And just to show you guys how a cool project will be done by you in the future in just like a semester's time, we'll pass it to Alexi and Ashwin to show some of the cool projects that we have done through the summer.
Okay, cool. Um, hey everyone. I'm just wondering whether they have a control over here. I think they requested it.
Alexa, you can just click the right arrow to go for it. The button's hidden a little bit. There we go.
Okay, cool. Um, so yeah. Anyway, my name is Lexi. I'm a third year student in financial modeling, and this academic year I'll be a director of projects at Western AI. So yep. Um, Yes. So apparently, my project was a pneumonia classification with a chest X-ray over the chest X-ray. Uh, we are a neural network. Um, so I had a team of four machine learning developers. I was the project manager, and basically the thing that I'd like to strengthen first is that we were like none of us had any previous machine learning experience before, and we still managed to create a project. Second one, that this project belongs to an intermediate section of what William discussed with you earlier. So if you want to have some clue on how like beginner, intermediate, or advanced section look like, pretty much like this is a good example of what you're gonna face. Um, so, oh yeah, here we go. So my team developed an algorithm using convolutional neural network. It's kind of one of the architectures that you'll learn throughout the course or throughout your project. And apparently, like you need to play with it, and it might sound scary, but there is nothing really scary about that. So we reached an accuracy of 90.22%. And we also created a web application where you can basically go upload your chest X-ray, and after that, it will give you back the likelihood of having pneumonia on that X-ray or not having that. It's kind of cool web. We used Flask deployment for that, and apparently they just works cool, and there is nothing to like really that incredibly hard about that. So I knew some Python beforehand, but apparently I enhanced my Python skills. Also gave me some exposure to libraries such as like NumPy, um, scikit-learn, and other statistical and machine learning ones. So it was pretty cool. I enhanced my understanding of neural networks and machine learning, solved algorithm overfitting problems, and apparently, the most important thing was the teamwork, since this project wasn't been able to be done without any teamwork or like assistance from four of my other teammates. Unfortunately, they're not here, but um, anyways. And like time management, also an important thing. You'll figure that out since project manager, like you need to choose the person who will be responsible for your meetings and that you won't actually go anywhere. Like that's kind of what you need. Um, so as I told earlier, like nobody had previous machine learning experience. and we still managed to reach a high accuracy. And you just need to work and you need to have a passion. There's two things that you do need, and that's fine. So as Sophia told, like this project will enormously boost your CV and you'll gain a useful teamwork skills. Apparently, having a friend is another really important thing. Like you don't feel the people who you start the project with as a friend, but when you go on and like you spend more than 8 weeks together, after that you'll still be able and you will communicate and you're gonna take part in other hackathons, just chat, like meet, and that's an incredible thing to have and kind of one of the advantages that Western AI have to offer. Um, yes, so I think here I should stop and pass it to Ashwin. Oh no, wait. Actually, sorry, I forgot about showing my project demo. So basically, what's happening over here, I just download the X-ray that has a pneumonia, and we can clearly look that it gives a pretty reliable chance that we don't have a healthy chest X-ray over here. Yeah, here we go. Now it's Ashwin's turn.
Hi, I'm Ashwin. I'm an education director and also a third year CS student. So I joined Western AI to learn more about data science and share whatever knowledge I gain along the way. And I joined around summer projects. And the summer project that our team did was to make a self-driving car to learn more about how autonomous vehicles work and their limitations. So we used a double deep Q network to train the car to maneuver a closed track, and the car would be rewarded points if it steered correctly, and it would get penalized if it collided with anything. And along the way, we learned a ton about the math involved in machine learning and how it translates over to the TensorFlow framework. And those skills actually made it easier to understand how different neural networks function and how to construct them in code. So here's actually a demo of the project working. And you can see that the car moves on its own through the Carlo simulation. And you can also see some of the code. So the simulation actually feeds in a passenger seat image of the car's environment to the neural network, and the network then outputs the best steering action to take. And that's how the car knows what to do. Now that the project's actually done, I'm using some of the knowledge I gained from it to assist with research on autonomous vehicles using imitation learning. And a lot of the theory from this project has heavily carried over and helped me follow along with research papers. And now I'm going to pass it over to Charlie.
Actually, I'll take it over from here, Ashwin. Thank you, Ashwin and Alexi, for presenting your projects. I really loved it when we were doing it during the summer. So now I'm going to be talking about our Ad Astra stream. And as Brian asked earlier, are we going to be sending people to competitions? Well, this is the program that you're going to be looking for. So Ad Astra is a full year program that is formatted like a varsity team. So what we're going to do is we're going to select about 8 to 16 people, and we're going to be sending them to competitions such as hackathons or Kaggle competitions with the goal of implementing machine learning projects. And once again, our program is structured like a varsity team, so we'll have practices like every week. So you should expect to commit a lot of time to this program. As for the roles that we have for our team, we're looking for front-end developers, back-end developers, and project managers. So as a front-end developer, you'll be responsible for things like UI, UX. So if you have experience with front-end frameworks such as React or Angular, that would be a great asset. And one thing I want to mention is that you don't necessarily need background experience for these roles. All we're looking for is just passion and willingness to learn, because we will be providing you with the resources you need to succeed in your role. So don't ever worry about having that technical experience. We're there for you. Now, moving on to the backend developers, these individuals will be responsible for the ML implementation. So some background experience that you could have for this role is implementing databases and whatnot. Last but not least, we have the project manager. Now, this individual will be responsible for setting team objectives and timelines, and this is actually a really important role, especially if you're in a hackathon and you're on a time crunch. You got to get those things done on time, or else you're missing out. So, getting a little buggy here. All right, so why should you join Ad Astra? Well, okay, one of the reasons why we started this was because I used to go into hackathons solo, and I used to be placed in, random teams where I'll be with people that I didn't know, and sometimes it'd be really frustrating because we didn't have the same goals, or not everyone was necessarily fulfilling their roles. So Ad Astra is made for you if you're the type of person who likes going into competitions with the mindset of doing well or learning something new. And it's also great if you love learning in a fast-paced environment because we will be delivering new material every week. That's what you got practices for. And last but not least, this is amazing if you're a competitive person. If you love showing off your machine learning skills, then yeah, go for it. And just a precursor, we're releasing applications for Gideon and Ad Astra right after this AGM. So pay attention to our Facebook. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I'm going to go next. My name is Callie. I'm in software engineering and I'm the director of recruitment. And I'll just get to the next slide. So one of my main goals this year as director of recruitment is to encourage more women to join Western AI and ensure they feel like they belong in the club. Women are underrepresented in STEM fields, especially in some of the fastest growing and highest paying jobs of the future, like engineering and computer science. Here are some stats from Statistics Canada, and as you can see, women only represent 37.8% in all STEM subjects, 20.2% in engineering, and 28% in math and computer science. So why is this happening? This is mainly due to gender stereotypes and a lack of female role models, which deter girls from pursuing a career in STEM or even choosing STEM subjects in school. When you think of a person in STEM, you might picture them looking something like this. One of the most common stereotypes that negatively affects women is that a person in STEM is typically masculine, nerdy, unattractive, and/or awkward. If women don't fit this stereotype, they may feel like they don't belong and doubt their abilities. Society also puts pressure on women to be feminine and desirable, which doesn't align with stereotypes of a person in STEM and can make women feel like they can only be one or the other. So what can WAY do about it? We need to challenge gender stereotypes by highlighting women in STEM. It's important for us to have women in leadership roles like executive and director positions. We need to provide positive role models that women can relate to. Positive role models don't necessarily need to be female, they just need to be relatable. If women feel similar to someone in STEM, this can help them see how they can fit into STEM as well. We need to have a welcoming culture to ensure women feel like they belong. Our club is open to all faculties and skill levels, which hopefully encourages women to join and feel like they belong. We also plan to have at least 2 women or no women in groups so that the women in our club never feel isolated by being the only one. And we need to partner with all women groups on campus to reach more women. We want to partner with other clubs such as Women in STEM and Women in Engineering so we can maximize our reach to women on campus. So basically, to make a difference, we need to be aware of these issues and work together to stop pervasive stereotypes about STEM. These stereotypes currently act as barriers that make girls and women feel like they do not belong or cannot succeed in STEM. Without these barriers, girls and women will have more truly equal opportunities. And I'm going to pass it off now to Nolan.
Thank you, Callie. Very well said. Hello, everyone. My name is Nolan. I am the VP of Outreach for Western AI. I'm just going to get requests from control. I just want to say, first of all, thank you to all you guys for coming out. We do really appreciate your time. I also want to say thank you to all of the executives and directors as well for doing such a great job putting this together. I think it's important that you guys all know a lot of people, everyone in a way is very talented and intelligent as well, and also great people. So I encourage everyone here to reach out to their peers and do their best to network with each other as we move forward. So I'm going to talk about some of the outreach stuff we have going on. But before I do that, I just wanted to ask all of you guys to drop in the chat a company that you've always wanted to work for. It could be big or small. Something that I really want to do this year is, empower you guys and give you guys opportunities to progress your guys' careers. And by doing that, I just want to hear from you, what industries or companies you guys are interested in working with that we can hopefully partner with moving forward. So to start, we have our AI Lightbox initiative, and this initiative was started by one of our partners who is unfortunately not here today. Her name's Carly Olson. But to give you guys a little background on it, AI Lightbox is an all-female AI strategy group that focuses on industry applications and AI advancements in this space. This year, we have a number of initiatives planned. For instance, our Emerging Trends annual report that focuses on three major industries: Women in STEM panel series, a tech assignment report, and our Cloud Cookie initiative focusing on career development workshops. So our team is expanding with over 20 members as we enter our second year of operations with our proud sponsor, Deloitte. So yeah, that is one of our great initiatives. And then the other thing that we have planned for you guys this year, as of right now, is our well, here's some more information. Is the Canadian Undergraduate Conference on Artificial Intelligence. So this conference was actually started by Queen's last year or the year before, and we have been working with them through the summer on improving the conference and being more integrated within their operations. And if you take a look here on the left side of your screen, you can see some of the things that will be going on at the conference. So first of all, we will have a Slack workspace where you guys can check out cool things that are going on and interact with other AI students from across Canada. There are design team showcases, so we will be sending project teams forth to represent Western AI and showcase some of the things that we've done. And this work also gets published in the conferences publishing after the event. There's also a lot of networking opportunities and taster events. So there's going to be industry professionals that are speaking at the event, as well as different workshops and panels to get you guys more involved within the professional stream of AI. So yeah, that is basically it for me. I think we have a couple more slides to close out. Oh yeah, Charlie?
Hey, this one's super quick. Basically, Ashwin and I made a textbook. We called it A Practical Guide to Machine Learning. And it's pretty cool. It's like, I think it's 75 pages or something. And basically, we just went through like all mathematical machine learning concepts. Or I shouldn't say machine learning, I should say deep learning. Maybe we'll change the title. But basically, we talked about like a bunch of intro neural networks, kind of. So like convolutional neural networks, recurrent neural networks, just like any neural network in general. We did some like intro statistics stuff, probability, and then we got into a little bit of unsupervised learning, so things like general adversarial networks, and then also some reinforcement learning, deep Q neural networks, temporal learning, and yeah, all that cool stuff. Also, we have a model bank, which I think is really cool. Basically, our education portfolio is working on compiling just like a huge Google Drive folder of models that anyone in Western AI has ever made. So that's projects from last year, projects from the summer, all kinds of cool stuff. And that should be hopefully super helpful because people can just go in and kind of take code snippets, get inspiration for projects. And yeah, we have all kinds of frameworks. We included models written in PyTorch, TensorFlow, Keras, scikit-learn, and then even just some like basic tools. So we had like tutorials on pandas, matplotlib, Seaborn, all kinds of like Python libraries and stuff. So should you join the club or should you join a peer-to-peer course or a project, you will have access to these for sure. And then honestly, we'll probably just end up publishing these. So just look out for them on the Western AI page and you'll have access to them. Yeah, that's about it. I don't know who's next though.
I will jump in. Sorry, it just took me a moment to be able to get access. So, all right. There we go. Okay, so wrapping up, thank you so much to the Western AI team. I hope that everybody found this valuable. But next steps is how we get everybody in this call involved in Western AI, or at least helping you facilitate your learning in however you desire, whether that's with one of our initiatives or partnering and chatting with us in other aspects. We're really here and happy to help in however we can. The first step is signing up as a general member for Western AI. That link is going to be released next week, so we'll message everybody that was in this chat tonight, that link. But the most important thing, the second point, is it's showtime. As we're seeing, it's time to apply for upcoming projects. We're also going to be launching our peer-to-peer schedule really, really soon. So if anything was of interest to you, I encourage you to check out the slide deck link that I'm going to drop once I'm done speaking in the chat to review some of the PDFs that were posted. Check it out. See if it's for you. If it is, tell your friends about it. Get them to come. We've had a lot of interest in these programs, and we're really excited to take that to the next level in doing it during the school year. And lastly, we'd love for you to connect with us. Our website is linked there, westernuai.com, and there are all our social media pages. The last thing also that I want to leave that I'm going to post in the chat so everybody has immediate access to it, is joining our Discord channel. So for those who aren't familiar with Discord, it's like Slack, but more techy, more gamery, more fun, just all around better. So that's what we use as our communications platform. And I'll drop the link in there in the chat when I finish speaking. All right, so this is a quick recap. If you want to go through anything, check through the deck. But now we're going to pass it over to you. What questions do you have that we weren't able to answer pertaining to the deck, pertaining to AI, anything? You can feel free to just jump in and speak or post in the chat, and we can do that simultaneously. I will like the first person a lot who is the one to speak, just so you know. There may be a little bit of favoritism if you apply for any project. I am going to send you the slide deck. Let me just copy that link. Sorry, I'm trying to do about 7 things at once. Whoever has their hand up, just feel free to unmute yourself and ask the question.
Hi, sorry, I wanted to ask a question to Cal. Sorry, I don't know how to say it. Is it Callie or Tally? Sorry, I forgot. But for the women in STEM recruitment, how are you going to be doing that? Is it like an application, or is it going to be something that you're going to have to, I guess, like be recruited for when you're actually in the club?
So women, sorry, me and Liam are sitting next to each other and trying to, so for
Liam, mute your mic, please.
okay, sorry about that. For women in STEM, it's more just like it's currently an initiative of ours, and one of my goals is to just promote women in STEM and encourage women to join the club. But if you, like, are you saying you're interested in getting involved with that? Because there's definitely ways. Yeah, so if you want to join the club and get involved in that, I'm part of the outreach department, and we could definitely figure something out and work on something together.
I'm just gonna hop in as well to help answer that question. So, another thing we're looking at working on as well is introducing some sort of ambassador program for high school students. One of the things that we noticed, with girls especially is they tend to get discouraged a lot in those high school years. And then also we're looking at partnering with a variety of women in technology, STEM, engineering clubs on campus. So if you just want to get in contact with Callie or I, we can definitely work on something together if it's of interest to you.
Yeah.
I'll put my email in the chat there if you want to email me.
Yeah, that would be perfect. Thank you so much.
No worries.
I had a quick question. That's okay.
Okay.
So just kind of like I'm coming from a non-technical background. What kind of like opportunities are available within the Gideon project for like non-technical members to really like help out? Like, is it going to be just the kind of thing where we're going to be learning the code and just kind of contributing at a base level like that, or are there sorts of other things like you guys would be looking for, like potentially if you wanted to try to get a project out there, like would you be looking for someone to do like market research sort of thing?
I'll take that. Just one question before I answer it. Are you interested in gaining these technical skills?
Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah, okay. So basically, we will provide you with whatever you need to gain these technical skills. So most of our projects are in Python. So we will be providing you with all you need to learn about Python. And as for the project stage, you will have the full responsibility of creating or deploying a project. So everything you create there will be yours and your team's.
Yeah, there's also projects that Western AI did last year that are not like technical at all. Like I know Carly's project, AI Lightbox, is I don't know exactly, but I don't think there was even any coding. It's doing stuff like you said, market research and looking at AI trends in the industry and literally making a project based on that. Nothing to do with Python or coding some AI algorithm. So yeah, I don't know for sure, but hopefully we can make some projects like that available based on demand.
Yeah, I just had a question. So is there going to be any in-person aspect to anything that was talked about? Or is it all like virtually,
I can
Answer that one.
I can jump in to answer that. Really wish there was. I really wish there was, but it doesn't look like we're going to be able to just because of everything that's happening right now. At least for the near future, I think hopefully things will clear up in second semester. We can get together. If you're in a project team and you decide you want to meet with your groups, then that's something you can obviously go ahead and do. But at this point, we're not immediately planning on running anything in person. And obviously there's pros and cons to that. We do think that we can provide a much better experience for making friends and building a community than what you would have in a Western University class or a Western University project. So that's really what we're trying to do. Everybody who joins our projects are subscribing to be in that class or project or that class. So everybody's interested. Everybody has aligned interests. So even though we can't do things in person, at least today, we will be able to provide you with as good of a remote community as anybody at Western, and I say that with confidence.
All right, awesome, thanks.
And we're also, Callie's giving me some tips. We're also planning some social things, which obviously will be optional, not official club events, but there'll be things if people want to meet out, want to get out together with their project teams or hang out with a director or VP to chat about a project they've worked on or a company they've worked at. Those opportunities will exist. It's just not any formal planned club events where there be an expectation of attendance.
Okay, question. So will the links to all like the courses and educationals like be posted just on the Facebook page?
I see another question from, please correct me if I butcher the name, but Um, Shruti, oh, Will, you just got it. Okay, sweet. As Connor just mentioned, we were gonna send out the Discord link in this uh, during this meeting, at the end of this meeting. We just want to finish setting up one or two things to make sure that you can automatically select exactly which channels and which groups you'll automatically join when you join Discord, to help immediately match you with a smaller group of people to begin chatting versus just all getting thrown into some massive general channel and then trying to figure everything out. So we will be following up shortly with that link. You have the slide deck link. But if there's any other questions, let's keep them rolling. I know I'm happy to stay as long as needed to.
And just expanding on that before moving forward, if anyone has any suggestions or things that you would want in the Western AI Discord, put them in chat.
Okay. Alrighty, well, I'm going to drop my email in the chat. You can feel free to connect with me also on Facebook, on LinkedIn, anything. I'm pretty agnostic when it comes to social channels. Feel free to message me or any of our team members that spoke tonight about any of the projects we plan on running. If you're interested in potentially joining our club, we may have some openings on our executive or director team shortly, but you'll have to stay tuned to our social channels and ideally in Discord to be notified of that. But otherwise, before I give a big thank you, I just want to clarify, Spencer, any of the exec team, do you have any final words that you'd like to share? Any closing notes or questions?
No, nothing from me. Thanks again for everyone coming out.
Alrighty, I think my volume is on. My computer volume was off. I'm sorry. Was I interrupting anybody? Please continue. I'm going to stop.
You interrupted one guy with a question.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll mute myself. Please go ahead.
Wait, did that question get answered? Because I didn't really hear it. I forget who it was.
Whoever asked, please ask again. I'm sorry. I had to mute my audio because we have two computers going side by side here.
They might have left.
We're still working on our computer skills here at Western AI.
We're always learning. No matter what persona we are, we're always learning. I can tell you that much.
Well, I'll just jump in. I said it in chat, but if anyone has any suggestions that you want from the Discord, anything you might want, anything like that, just feel free to put it in chat right now or send an email to westernuai@gmail.com, and we'll do our best to put anything you might want in. But really excited to talk to you. We have a few different initiatives that we're going to do, trying to connect members together, get to know our exec team. If you want to meet with us, chat with any of us, anything we're doing, or anything that you can get involved in, feel free to message us on there or on any of our socials there, and we'll connect you to the right people.
Yeah, I'd say, I don't know if I speak for all the execs, but feel free to coffee chat me at least. You can add me on LinkedIn, ask me about anything about the club, or even call me if we have time, talk about anything.
Regarding project experience, if you're curious about how your commitment, how many time you're gonna dedicate, project management, or just how it's gonna be feeling like a member, you can contact either me or Ashwin. We just did our project experience on this summer, so feel free to just message us.
Liam or Spencer, there's a question in the chat there. I would assume it's like a USC type question.
Yeah, I can jump in. Yeah, well, we'll just got it. We're gonna look into options for going cross university. Certain initiatives we are only planning to keep them Western, but as we mentioned at the beginning of the event, our ultimate goal is to expand beyond Western. So we may even get started on that this year.
I guess as a small sneak peek for everyone who's stuck around here so far, we will also be having merch coming out soon. So that's something to keep excited on. Actually, if I stop the share here, if I turn my video on here, you can see our Western AI shirts from last year. So we'll be doing similar things this year. If you have any suggestions, feel free to send it our way, and we'll do our best to, get things done.
Alrighty, well, in that case, I feel comfortable wrapping up. Thank you so much to the 57 of you that are still here. We're very excited for this year and very excited that you have an interest in AI, and we can hopefully help facilitate your learning and development in the field. As mentioned, we'll have links coming out to you to stay in touch with us. Everything you need to know for joining projects, joining P2P, potentially even joining our team, will be up to date. So thank you again so much for joining. I hope you have a great night, and we'll be in touch. See you soon.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. That was great stuff.